everybody, welcome back to the Celtic Forever podcast. We've got quite a lot to go through today. We've got the post-match of the Hearts game to go through, and we've got the preview of the Club Brugge to do as well. So plenty to get through. We've got John here to go through everything. Let's say a quick hello to John. How's things, John? Feeling good after the weekend's results? Aberdeen losing, Rangers drawn at home to a very poor Dundee United, and Celtic in the end overpowering Hearts. John, just a brilliant weekend, wasn't it?
It was. I totally forgot about the Rangers game, by the way. I totally forgot about it. I think it was you that texted me and says they dropped points. It's like, oh, that's good. But obviously I watched the Aberdeen game. I think we both predicted a good result against Aberdeen. I knew St Mirren would take something off them, because Aberdeen, I've said it all along, they're not that good. They've just been very lucky in games. I've watched all their games, been very lucky. And justice was served in the hands of St Mirren. I think St Mirren were by far the better team.
Yeah, I watched all the football, John. I think I watched about 10 minutes of the Rangers game, to be honest. Then I watched most of the Aberdeen game, and then the Celtic game. Obviously, I watched every bit of that. It was just a brilliant weekend. It really was. Results for Celtic. But we'll get to the Rivals Corner a wee bit later, John. Let's be quick word on the housekeeping. Hit the subscribe button, folks, if you've not done it already. If you've done so, we appreciate it. Thank you. If not, just hit that wee subscribe button at the bottom there. Not a problem. Then hit the like button once you've done that as well. Hit the like button and turn on your notification bell. The competition, there's 3 correct entries this week for the competition. I've not done the draw yet. I'm going to do that. I'll be a separate video later on. But John, the correct entry on YouTube, John, I can't remember the boy's name. I need to get his name. I need to go back into YouTube and check it out. But he guessed the full thing, John. He got the scorers. He got the correct score. Just a brilliant guess, but he's still got to go into the draw, John, with the other 2. So good luck to everybody in the prize draw. This week's competition for the Ross County game, we'll do that in midweek. So keep your notification turned on for that, folks. Right, John, let's get into this big Hearts post-match reaction. It was a tough game, wasn't it? You know, the first half was very, very, very sluggish from Celtic, I thought, and it can only be expected coming back from the international break. Every one of our players practically were away on international duty, John. So there's all the travelling, like you said, Japan, etc. But it showed on the part, I think, John.
Aye, it was a lethargic performance, but and also, I think the 4-1 scoreline actually flattered Celtic. I think Hearts were pretty good, to be honest with you. I think they played really well, and I think 4-1 was maybe a bit harsh on them.
Yeah, maybe a bit harsh, but John, Celtic are deadly, and I think I saw a different side to Celtic in the last few games. Celtic are tiring teams out. I think you look at the Kilmarnock game; it was very similar. I think you said it was going to be similar to the Kilmarnock game, John, on the preview, and it was very similar. Celtic, you know, let Kilmarnock come at us, then they let Hearts come at us to tire them out, John, and they put all their effort into the first half, Hearts, and so did Kilmarnock, and then they faded away in the second half. I think they just got tired, and then Celtic brought in some subs, John. I thought that made the difference as well, but we'll get to that. Let's go through the game. And Hearts really did come at us early on, didn't they? They had various chances, John, and this chance for Spittle in the second minute, you know, he's just got the keeper to beat. Hit it to the left of the keeper, hit it to the right. You're 1-0 up at home, and Spittle hits it more or less right to the goalkeeper, but a decent save as well. But Johnny should have buried that to put them 1-0 up.
Aye. I was thinking this is it, 1-0 already. But look, he's not put enough power in the shot for a start. It was quite a tame shot, to be honest with you. But I expected Blair Spittle to be burying that one. That was a chance squandered. We should have been 1-0 down at that point.
Yeah, John. You said at the start there, John, Hearts, you know, it was harsh on them. It was slightly harsh. But you've got to put the ball in the net. As one co-commentator once said a long time ago, doesn't matter how many shots you have, you've got to put the ball in the netty. But John, they didn't put the ball in the net because Shankland had another double chance. John, I mean, how these didn't end up in the net, I don't know. Shankland through the keeper, hits it wide. I call these ones when you've only got the keeper to beat, John. I call them sitters, right? I don't know if I'm being harsh there, but I think that was a sitter for Shankland. And then another sitter, John, on the 21st minute, a free header. John, right at the goalkeeper again. 3 great chances for Hearts, John. They should have at least been 1-0 up at that point.
Aye, they were out the traps fast. I agree with you, by the way. If a professional football player is one-on-one with a keeper and hits it at the keeper, he needs to have a word with himself, because, I mean, how wide are goalposts? 20 odd feet in it, 24 feet or something like that. 24 feet wide by whatever, 8 foot high. I don't know the exact dimensions of goals, but it's roughly that anyway. And a goalkeeper's 6 feet tall, and you can't put it at either side of him. You need to be having a word with yourself. These players have got to be doing better than that. Look, I'm glad they didn't, of course. So, aye, all good.
All good. And it was, it didn't end there, John. Hearts still came at us, I don't think we had a shot and goal. Well, maybe we had one shot and goal in the first half, but nothing really to speak of, John. And before we get into the second half, let's have another word on Sky Sports. I know I went on a rant on the last video, John, regarding, not the last video, I think it was a Kilmarnock post-match, a rant about Sky Sports and Chris Boyd, and Sky Sports apologising for a disruption to a minute's silence. I'm going to go on about Sky again, John. By the way, John Robertson was a breath of fresh air next to that dumpling Chris Boyd, to be honest with you, John. I hope they've dropped him. I hope that's why he wasn't there on Sky Sports the other day, John. I hope he's been dropped and into the 3rd division in England or something, because that he shouldn't be anywhere near a TV channel, to be honest with you. But John Robertson, apart from his views on the penalty, I thought he was quite fair and honest, so that's fair enough to John Robertson, John. But right, the Hearts supporters, John, their vile abuse at Celtic supporters. This is on Sky Sports Airways Live, remember. This is going through their channel Airways. The vile songs they were singing, I'm not going to go into them. Everybody knows what they are. We all heard them. We all saw the Hearts fans. We all seen it, heard it. Where's Crocker's apology to the Celtic supporters, or for anybody listening to that, John? Not just Celtic supporters, anybody listening to the vile songs. Where's Sky Sports apology?
Now, you won't get it off of Sky. They're all about just doing what they can to rubbish Celtic, tarnish Celtic's name. We know that. That's what Sky Sports is all about when it comes to Celtic. So it's not even worth talking about. It happens. We know it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. You can maybe complain to Ofcom about it. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's just, we know what they're all about. We don't really need to speak about it. All Celtic fans know what Sky's all about. And like he says, they'll never say anything about the vile songs that get sang at Celtic players and Celtic fans. They will never say anything about that, because it's accepted. It's just accepted. That's what it is. You'll take your abuse and you'll like it. That's their opinion. So they're not even worth mentioning, to be honest with you.
Yeah, John, I slightly disagree. I think it's worth mentioning in the hope that some Celtic supporters that listen to this cancel their subscription to Sky, because, I just think it's disgusting. I mean, looking back on the minute's silence that a handful of Celtic supporters disrupted, right? I'm not going to go into my views on that or anything, but there's been umpteen minute silences disrupted in the past, John, where Sky Sports have not issued an apology. So I know what you're saying. There's no point going on about it, because it's an anti-Celtic thing. It's clearly an anti-Celtic thing, John, because the vile abuse that was coming out of the Hearts supporters' mouths was 1,000 times worse than a handful of Celtic fans singing through a minute's silence. All right, John, back to the game. I don't know why I'm going too much about that, but it's something I think we should be bringing up, to be honest, because no other podcast is going to bring it up, so I think we should.
Well, I'm just saying it's not worth mentioning, because nothing will ever get done about it. Aye, Celtic fans can cancel their Sky, whatever they feels right, but nothing will ever get done about it. That's why it's not worth talking about, because that will go on well after we're both long gone. That'll still be going on, so that's why there's no point in talking about it, because nothing will ever get done about it, ever. Aye, cancel your subscription if you like. Still nothing will get done about it, Xander.
No, yeah. Okay, John, let's leave that there. We'll get into the second half then, John, because we've got a heck of a lot to go through today. By the way, I'm down at Celtic Park if anybody's interested. The cars flying by me just now. Just a wee atmosphere builder for Wednesday night's game. Obviously it's quiet just now. It's a bit wild in Glasgow today. It's windy, it's rainy, we're still in the middle of a storm, aren't we? So hopefully that's cleared by Wednesday night. Right, John, 50th minute, a Kyogo sitter. I like to call these sitters, maybe I'm being harsh, but this one is right at the goalkeeper as well, right at Craig Gordon, isn't it? It's left or right again, John, take your pick, but he doesn't lift the ball, didn't he? I think maybe he mishits it, I'm not sure. But no one near wee Kyogo at this point in the 50th minute, John. He hits it right at Craig Gordon. Sky Sports screaming about it being an outstanding save, John. It isn't even a save, it just hits off him. It's hit, the ball's hit directly at Craig Gordon. In fact, Craig Gordon's actually lying on the ground. So it's not a save, he's lying on the ground. He's gave up and Kyogo hits it right at him. But a poor miss for wee Kyogo there. But we can allow him that, I suppose.
Aye, of course. Let's move on. It's a miss, right at the keeper. Nothing worth talking about.
Yeah, because this is worth talking about in the 56th minute. It's the opening goal, and it's Kyogo that scores it, and it's a decent finish. But it's a shot, ricochet off a defender. It falls to Kyogo. He has a shot at it. Keeper saves it. He gets a second bite at it. It's scrappy, but it's in the net. We're 1-0 up.
We'll take them all as under. Aye, look, he's just right place and right time, isn't he? Aye, that's scrappy, isn't it? Kind of fumbles it into the net, but who cares? It's 1-0, and Celtic fans are going wild. Brilliant. Shuts the Hearts fans up as well. Yeah,
it shuts them up because they were doing my head in, to be honest with you, because they were screaming at a slightly late tackle from Idah, wasn't it? 59th minute, 3 minutes after the goal. They're screaming for Idah to get booked, and the referee plays to the gallery and books Idah, and it's never a yellow card in its life, John, to be honest with you. Maybe it was an accumulation of tackles, I'm not too sure, but that particular one was never a yellow card. That was the referee playing to the gallery, yellow card for Idah.
Aye, I think it was playing to the gallery, that one. That tackle itself was not a yellow card. And to be honest with you, I don't remember Idah doing anything really dirty in that game. He's not a dirty player anyway, but he never did anything that was worthy of even a word from the referee. So I don't know why he was booked.
Yeah, it was strange. It's just the Hearts fans, isn't it? They scream for everything. Okay, 2-0 up, 4 minutes later. This was the one I was really, I loved this goal going in, because at this point the Hearts fans are going wild, aren't they? So this shuts them right up, John. Nicolas Kuhn, what a finish. Lovely layoff from Idah. Kuhn through in the keeper, and he takes it slightly wide, but it helps him out, John, because he rattles his left foot around it right into that top left-hand corner. 3 Hearts players, John, sliding in to stop Kuhn. And no one of the 3 of them could get anywhere near him, and he beats the goalkeeper. Another beautiful goal from Nicolas. We could all take a deep breath and relax at this point, John. 2-0.
Aye, we can. Aye, that was exquisite. I think that's the word I would use for that goal. Absolutely exquisite. It was some finish, tight angle as well. Absolutely blast it with his left foot. Craig Gordon obviously is not getting anywhere close to that one. What a finish that was! Another absolute diamond for Nicolas Kuhn. His goals are unbelievable. Every goal he scores is strike worthy of a player to play in any league, if you like. That honestly was some finish. Mm-hmm. Couldn't believe what I was seeing there with Nicolas Kuhn. Well, I could, because he's starting to become a Celtic fan's favourite, isn't he? Yes. Rapidly.
Yeah, and we'll stick with Kuhn for the moment, because he's taking no nonsense from this Nicky Devlin, and he's saying Devlin's trying to bail him a wee bit, but Nicolas is he's not taking any nonsense, the wee man. I know he might be short, but he takes no nonsense. And we've said a few times he's bulked up as well. So yeah, Devlin's trying to push him about, and wee Nicolas right in about him, pushing him back onto the floor. So well done, Nicolas, for that. And Devlin also gets booked as well, so that was a wee added bonus.
Well, Devlin, that's what he's built his career on at Hearts, to run about kicking players up in there and getting booked and getting red cards and all that. Every game he plays, that's the way Nicky Devlin. No, Nicky Devlin. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Is it Nicky Devlin?
I think it is, John. I'm not sure, but Devlin anyway. We know who we're talking about. That's the big guys you say yellow card in every game, isn't he?
I can't remember his name. Nicky Devlin, I think it is. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But I know the wee guy you're talking about, the wee Australian guy. He's a dirty wee player, Devlin. I quite like him though. I do quite like him. He's quite a hard wee midfielder. But that Nicolas Kuhn's a hardy boy. He's not going to take any nonsense off of him, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on quickly. Bernardo comes on for Engels. We have Idah off for wee James Forrest. We'll get to the subs and the players' performances a wee bit later. But 12 minutes past, John. Sorry, Ralston came on for Johnston as well, didn't he? So Ralston, 72nd minute, John, nearly an own goal off the bar. You know, that was nearly, Hearts back in the game, wasn't it? He sort of tried to clear the ball and it sort of bounces behind him and hits off the bar. I thought the keeper got a wee touch to that, John. What did you think?
I thought so as well. I definitely think Casper got his hand to that one. That'd have been the ultimate upset for Anthony Ralston, wasn't it? Just on the park, nearly scores a world-class own goal. Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it didn't go in. That's the main thing. Still 2-0. Another couple of subs. Yang comes on, who's impressing me more, by the way, and more I see him for Kuhn, because he just received that heavy tackle 5 minutes before, didn't he? So Kuhn gets a rest, and Big Adam comes on for Kyogo. John, Big Trusty, he gets to tackles that you think he's not going to get to. He really is impressing me, Big Trusty. 77th minute, sorry, he's got a block that looks like a clear chance on goal for the Hearts player, John. But between Trusty and the goalkeeper, they clear it, John. But Big Trusty, he really is, with Big Carter Vickers in beside him, the two American boys look good.
Aye, they did look good, and that's a tough place to go to. You've just back for international duty, and you're having to go to that place. It's a wee tight park. Fans are right on your back, and the park looked a bit heavy, to be honest with you. The pitch itself looked a bit heavy, and I think the two central defenders just cantered that game. I know there was a wee moment in the game where Trusty he was in two minds who to pass it to. He was like, what did I do with this? And ends up getting it stolen off him and then recovers brilliantly.
Aye, he does. He's got that in him as well, hasn't he? John, he has got he looks as though he's got a mistake in him, but overall he looks good, I think. 3-0, 79th minute, John. It's nice wee interplay between Idah, Hatate and Bernardo. And it breaks through, a nice wee slide finish from Idah under the keeper. I think it was through the keeper's legs, didn't it? 3-0. Celtic fans, I know there was only a few hundred of them, but at this point they're just loving every minute of it, John. But a nice slide finish from Adam makes it 3-0.
Aye, Big Adam's in there to stick the ball in the net, and he goes right over to the Hearts fans, telling them to shut up. That was a nice wee touch, that, I think.
A brilliant touch. And shut up, they did. So, yeah, lovely. 3-0. Nice and relaxing. I mean, considering what we went through in the first half, to be 3-0 up in the 79th minute was, it was maybe you're right, John. Maybe it did flatter us. I think you're right, because Hearts had various chances in this game. It's the same as the Rangers and Hearts game, to be honest with you. Hearts had chance after chance after chance. And I did say on the preview, John, that if Hearts do the same against Celtic, the bottom line is they'll get beat. And that's what happened. But they did get a nice goal, John, in the 82nd minute, and it was a bit of a wonder goal. Takes around the whole Celtic defence. Nice goal. Musa Drammeh, John, nice finish for about 20 yards out. It has to be a good strike to beat Kasper Schmeichel for their John, and he did beat him, so it was a decent strike. 3-1 at this point, but the game's still over, isn't it?
Aye. It was some strike, that. It was a beauty, that, wasn't it? Absolute power. Casper's getting nowhere near that. Aye, that was a finished half. What we've said before, Hearts have got decent players. We know they've got players capable of doing that. I think I still preferred Nicolas Kuhn's goal, though. I don't know, just Celtic fans' point of view, I suppose, but I just think Nicolas Kuhn's goal was better on the eye for me, even though the Hearts boy finished that brilliantly.
Yeah, I think it was a nice goal. It wasn't the goal of the match for me. Kuhn's was the goal of the match for me. It doesn't matter what I think. Let's move on. 90th minute. Yang, John, as I said, the last few games he's looked good when he's came on, hasn't he? But he's got to start doing it when he starts the games for Yang, for me. But anyway, 90th minute, it's a Yang and an Idah double miss. You know, this was to make it 4-1, wasn't it? But Yang has his shot right at the goalkeeper again. Then Idah has his shot right at the goalkeeper. I mean, Craig Gordon must have thought he'd won the lottery, to be honest with you. The amount of shots were right at him the other night there, John, Saturday night. But it's a double save. I suppose you've got to put it down to a double save, but one of them should have put the ball in the net.
Aye, but they never did. So I thought one of them was going to end up in the net. Hearts were on their knees at that point, weren't they? Aye, look, big Craig Gordon's, he's in the right place at the right time, to make the saves. Give him a wee bit of credit there, maybe. But we never mentioned Yang ending up right into the advertising hordes, and the Hearts players, fans loving it, and they love that kind of stuff. Players risking breaking their neck. The Hearts players love that, you know.
The Hearts fans they're not football savvy, John. They really are not. Let's be honest, you know, screaming for things, you know, that just don't make a difference to the game, you know. Save your energy for things that matter, to be honest with you. And then Yang, John, into the advertising hoardings, as you say, and it looked like a bad one. And then they get up and start booing him. You know, the guy's just been clattered into the boards about 80 miles an hour. And that's no kidding, John. I don't know what speed he was running at. And it looked like a really bad one. And the boy got up, fair play to Yang for that, and they start booing him. Anyway, John, as you say.
80 miles an hour. I don't think he was running at 80 miles an hour right enough. But
wasn't far away from it. Anyway, so.
That'd be some speed. Every team would want to sign him under an 80 mile an hour player. But look, he's running full speed, and he ends up knocking the advertising hordes back a few feet. Probably if he goes into that head first, he's breaking his neck. Hearts fans are loving that. They think that's brilliant. Now, we spoke about this before, and I did want to bring this point up. When that happens to any player at Celtic Park, the Celtic fans are all hoping the player's okay. Doesn't matter who the player is, he's risking his life there. And the Celtic fans are all applauding the player when he gets back up. He's okay, that's good, as long as the boy's okay. And fair play to big Craig Gordon for getting over, making sure he was okay.
Yeah, that's it. Anybody with a brain in their head would do that, John, to be honest with you. But they don't have brains in their head over there at Tynecastle. It's pathetic, you know, booing a guy that could have been seriously injured. By the way, Yang's 99 pace rated on FIFA, so could have been 80 mile an hour. Right, John. Grant Fowler and Forrest inside the box. We James Forrest, John, when he came on. We're going to get to the player ratings in a wee minute. But what a difference Forrest made when he came on. I was chuffed to bits for you, James Forrest. That extension to his contract, must have put him on a high. But he wins the penalty, John, and it's dispatched lovely. Big Adam Idah, not a problem. Boom, boom, boom. Craig Gordon guesses the right way, to be fair to him again. But no, too much power in it, John. 4-1. Game's a bogey. Into it 4-1. Final whistle goes straight after the penalty. But another penalty taker, John. It's not just Engels who can take penalties by the looks of things.
Aye, dispatches it well. Big Adam, a lot of power in it. That's what you need when you're taking a penalty. Big Craig Gordon guesses the right way, but we'll never forget Craig Gordon. Who was it he threw the ball at after a Panenka penalty? I think it was Odson.
Was that was it Dembele? I can't remember, Jeff. I can't remember.
He did a Panenka. He chipped it. Gordon dives, and I'm sure it was Edward chips it into the roof of the net just very softly, and Craig Gordon picks it out of the net and throws it at Odson Edward. It
was Edward. I knew it was one of the French boys, but it was Edward. All right. Okay. 4-1, John. I predicted 2-0. You predicted 2-1. I was looking as though we weren't even going to get that at one stage in the game, but the real Celtic turned up in the second half, John. Midway through the second half, it was a decent second half performance, a very lackluster first half performance, John. So 1 to 10 individual scores is interesting because there was a few of our lads that didn't really turn up, shall we say? Are we allowed to say that? I don't know. What's your 1 to 10 individual scores, mate?
Casper, he's nothing he could do about that goal, by the way. That was a beauty. I'll give him a 7. Vickers and Trusty, I'll give Trusty a 7. Vickers an 8. Alistair Johnson, pretty quiet game by his standards. I'll give him a 6. Greg Taylor, I thought he was pretty poor. Zander, give him a 5. Centre of the park, Callum McGregor, give him a 7. Engels 4. I thought he was terrible again, Zander. Engels takes a good corner kick, but he did nothing to influence that game really. I'll give him a 4, maybe a 4.5, maybe a bit harsh with the 4. Hatate, decent enough, give him a 6. Maeda 5, did nothing to influence the game again. Kyogo, give him a 6. Took his goal well. Well, didn't really scuffed it into the net. And Nicolas Kuhn, 8.
Yeah, the real Celtic turned up, John, with about 35 minutes to go. So it's hard to give scores for the full 90 minutes, isn't it? It's no easy, this one. But we get the 4-1 win, so that's why some of the scores were quite high. Quick run through mine. Casper, he's decent, isn't he? Give him an 8. 2 centre backs both get an 8. Greg gets a 6. Alistair gets a 6. Callum gets a 7.5. But he was okay very good the second half actually. Hatate again a good second half, so 7 for Hatate. Arnie Engels gets a 5.5. Never done much. Dyson 6 was okay. Nothing, not his usual self, but he was okay. Kyogo, as usual, running about, 7, gets his goal, didn't he? And Kuhn, 8. So, be quick word on the subs, John. A couple made a difference. Yang looked okay. Forrest looked okay. Bernardo was involved in a couple of the goals, John. So, I mean, this boy must be asking himself why he's not getting a game for the start. But sometimes he gets a game for the start and doesn't quite do it. So, be quick scores on the subs, John. Just the 3 that I mentioned there: Bernardo, Forrest, and Yang.
It's hard to judge them on the short time they were on the park, but they all played well with him. I agree with you. I think all the subs played well. Bernardo will give him a 6. Forrest give him a 6.5, and Yang will give him a 6.5 as well. Yeah, I thought Forrest was outstanding, John. If he's going to be playing like that every single game, John, he's going to get a lot more game time this season. It's just the time on the part, Xander. They never get much time to give high scores to, but I think I agree with you. I think all 3 of them did exceptionally well when they came on. Yeah, they did, John. But what I'm saying about Forrest, John, is he looks okay on that left-hand side. I think he looks very decent, direct. He looks strong and physical as well, John. I thought, I mean, that's a rugged Hearts team he's up against, and he was involved in the goals as well. So, yeah, John, it's just good to see even our subs are coming on, making a difference. That happens every game, doesn't it? But we really do need to cut out this game of 2 halves. You know, poor in one half, a lot better in the second. We need a more balanced 90 minutes in the league. I know against, you know, the Germans in the Champions League, John, we were balanced for the 90 minutes, but that's Kilmarnock and Hearts now, John. It's a game of 2 halves. We've dispatched both of them, so 2 tough teams to break down away from home. Tough away from home games as well. You've got to remember, Xander players back for international duty and all that stuff. I think Celtic are doing really, really well right now, considering the amount of games these players are playing with international stuff and all that. So, I agree with you, by the way, with Bernardo. He must be asking himself why he's not getting into that team, and Engels is getting into the team. So far, this Engels guy is still did nothing to impress me, Xander. Yeah, the price tag's giving Engels a game now. I mean, maybe the guy's just off for him, John. That's what we're hoping for. He's not doing much to, you know, influence the game, but at the same time, he's starting these games where we're, you know, miles ahead in the league. We're in a cup final. We're doing brilliant in Europe. He's starting all these games, John. So, you know, maybe he's doing something right that I'm not seeing. Just say he takes a good penalty, he takes a good corner. And at the start, when he first signed, he was doing some decent stuff on the park as well. But the last few games, maybe the boy just needs a rest. I don't know. But it is early in the season, isn't it? So, all right, John, that wraps up the Hearts game. That wraps it up. But as regards to the game of 2 halves, it's just be, you know, you just imagine what we'd be doing to these teams if we were doing that for 90 minutes rather than just the 45. It would be outstanding, wouldn't it? But that'll come eventually. You've got to remember there's a lot of new players in there, John.
new signings, and it's still early in the season, isn't it? So that will come. Right, John, we bit of news.
But the results are there, Xander. The results are there. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters, John. As you say, very tough away fixtures. Tynecastle, Rugby Park, John, all these away games. We've still got our easier games still to come. Bear that in mind, Rangers supporters. We've got a whole load of home games still to come in the league. And talking about Rangers supporters, let's get into the Rivals Corner before we get into the big preview of the Brugge game. I did say there was a lot to go through, John. Rivals Corner, has Aberdeen's bubble burst? There's a question for you, John. I'll put that to you. Has Aberdeen's bubble burst?
I think their bubble should have burst a long time ago. Like I says, I've watched all their games. They fight hard in the centre of the park sometimes, but mostly they're on their knees against other teams. I've watched them against Dundee United, Rangers, Celtic, St Mirren, obviously. I've watched them against every team they've played, and I have not rated them so far. They're half decent, but I don't think they're in the position in the league where they should be. And look at them. They just lost to St Mirren, but they're still 8 points clear of Rangers. So, look, well done to Aberdeen for keeping it up. But if these teams would have took their chances early on, missing penalties and all that, Aberdeen would be nowhere under.
Yeah, as you say, well done to them, John. Glad you said that, because they have done really well. But, the champions, strength and depth, quality players, John, it's going to tell in the end, isn't it? Our other rivals, John, Rangers, total disarray. It's just lovely to watch. Rumours of Clement sacking went there. Then there was the rumours that he's not getting sacked. The fans want him sacked. They're relying on Hadji. The list goes on and on and on. But John, 11 points clear the Rangers now, John. That's they should. I know anything can happen, but that should be them out of the title race.
Like I says, they're 8 points behind Aberdeen, who lost their game. That says it all, doesn't it, really? They struggled against, who were they playing again? Rangers?
Dundee United, John.
Dundee United, aye. I like Dundee United, but I've not been following them that much this season. But aye, that's pretty poor, isn't it, drawing against a newly promoted team at home. A lot of empty seats at Ibrox. I did see the highlights. And a lot of empty seats at Tynecastle as well, by the way. And they squeezed Celtic into that wee tiny corner. But Rangers, they're in a bad shape right now. That only bodes well for Celtic in this upcoming cup final.
Yeah, of course it does, John. If they get beaten their game on Thursday night against a high flying, by the way, Nice team, French team, Nice, in France, so it's a tough game for them. If he gets beaten that, I think that could be it for him. So, but wait and see what happens there. But as you say, John, empty stadium. I don't know what they're staying in, 40,000, whatever it is. I don't know. Looks like there was about 25,000 there. As you're right, there's lots of empty seats. That's a home game for them. Nothing like backing your team, John. But anyway,
I was going to say, why did they bother extending their capacity of that stadium? They extended it from 50,000 to 51,000. What for? To have less fans in the stadium? Makes no sense to me, that.
No, makes no sense at all. Is that what the was? 51? I thought it was 48. Anyway, couldn't care less, to be honest with you. But yeah, good luck to Nice anyway on Thursday. And that brings us on to our European game then, John. Let's park the Rivals Corner up for now. Club Brugge, John, 62nd in the league. They are a decent team. They're a good team. They're sitting, I think it's 5 points, 4 points, whatever it is, behind Genk. That's Genk with a K, who are sitting top of the Belgian league, John. They're doing quite well. But anyway, we mentioned it on the preview of the Hearts game, John, that Bruges were missing a few of their players. Gustav Nielsen's out, Vertsen's out, midfielder. Bjorn Mayer, he is out as well, John, the left back, and Sikwe, the right back, is out as well. But they do have some players to watch, John. Romeo Vermont, John, he's the striker for them. We've all heard of him. Jashiri, the midfielder, and Simon Mignolet, the goalkeeper, John. So they do have a few talented players in their team. They're not going to make it easy for Celtic coming to Celtic Park on Wednesday night, John. Let's put it that way. They do spend a lot of money as well. They do spend money on their team. They've spent a lot of money in their team. But they do have a few injuries, which is good news for us, as we said on the preview. But John, we can't take anything for granted. But I mean, 3 points in this one, John, gives us 10 points to Champions League, like you've already said. But what a position to be in, John, with 10 points with 3 games to go.
Aye, it would be. It would be nice to have that 10 points. Bruges, they're not going to be any mugs. Belgian players in general, great players. Always have good teams, the Belgian teams. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. I don't think any Celtic fans are deluding themselves with that. It's going to be a tough game. Bruges are going to be a good team. So it'll be a nervy night, as per usual. It's Celtic Park in the Champions League. This is a tough game, Xander.
Of course, it's tough, John. But you know what a carrot that is, isn't it? You know, to go 10 points into the Champions League, outstanding. With still 3 games to go, would be amazing for Celtic. But the game's on TNT Sports anyway. Bruges record in the Champions League this season so far is 2 wins and 2 losses. The 2 losses came against Aston Villa and AC Milan. So they're no mugs, obviously, but that's where the losses came from. So they sit with 6 points. Celtic are sitting with 7. The winner of this one, more or less, I wouldn't say guarantees, but it puts them in a great position for automatic qualification, John. An outstanding position, actually, if we get the 3 points. Betting on this one, John, Celtic 19-20, round about the evens mark. The draw for this one is 5-2, and Club Brugge are priced at 3-1 to come away with the win at Celtic Park. So bookies getting Brugge a decent chance coming to Celtic Park, John.
You can see why. They're not in the Champions League because they're any mugs. This Bruges team will be a class act. You're guaranteed that's a good team. Every team in the Champions League is a good team. All right, Bratislava weren't that good when they came to Celtic Park, but Celtic on their day, they're capable of beating any team at Celtic Park. They're very, very capable. Let's just hope for another red-hot atmosphere. That'll maybe scare the Bruce players a wee bit. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. No long to wait. No long to Wednesday night. This is Monday as we're recording. So, I mean, we are not taking anything for granted. We really aren't. We know it's going to be tough. We know it's the Champions League. It's the top table, isn't it, in Europe. So we're under no illusions whatsoever. But if the proper Celtic turn up, John, for a full 90 minutes, we're going to give them a hell of a time. That's for sure. Okay, John, as I say, the game's on TNT, 8 o'clock kickoff Wednesday night, full packed stadium, over 60,000 into the stadium. It's going to be superb. I just can't wait. Predicted lineup then, John. I think it's just going to be the same as the Hearts game. But what do you think anyway?
I'm good at getting these right, Xander. I got the Hearts one right again.
Yeah, you did, John. Every player to a man you got right. I said Scales would start, he didn't, and I also said Kuhn would start. No, Kuhn, Idah, would start, and he didn't, even though he scored 2 goals. But maybe did we get a man of the match for the Hearts game, John?
No, we didn't, but it's pretty obvious I'm going to give it to Nicolas Kuhn.
Yeah, because Sky gave it to Tati, which I thought was strange. He did have a decent game, Rio, but no man in the match. Just only one player, isn't it? Nicolas again. Anyway. Big Adam Idah scoring his 2 goals made a difference when he came on. But anyway, I'll give it to Kuhn as well. All right, John. Less of the digression. Let's get back to the Bruges game. Predicted 11 then, John. What are you thinking?
Predicted 11. I want to get this right. I like getting these right. I prefer this over the correct score, which I never get right. It's 1 each between us this season. That's pretty poor.
It's been poor this season. We're okay last season, but we've not been doing too well this season. But still early.
It's still early, right enough, aye. Anyway, predicted 11. Obviously, the keeper's not going to change. That's going to be Schmeichel. I think the defence is going to stay the same. That's going to be Vickers and Trusty. And I think it's going to be Johnston. And I'm going to say Valley for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Centre of the park, it's going to be McGregor, Engels and Hattati. Although I think Bernardo should start, I really do. But it's going to be Engels.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the usual three up front. It's going to be Maida, Kyogo and Kuhn.
Right, okay. I don't know where to go for Scales again. Because the boy's done nothing wrong, hasn't he? He really has done nothing wrong. So I'm going to go with Scales starting, John, with Big Vickers at the back. Obviously, the goalkeeper stays the same. It's going to be Taylor for me. It's going to be Johnston, McGregor, Rio, Arnie, Maida, Kyogo and Kuhn. So another couple of changes for me there, John, different for you, but we'll wait and see what happens on Wednesday night. Okay, John, the big prediction time, the bit that you hate, score prediction, John. What are you thinking? Is your heart overruling your head? Are you going to go for a comfortable Celtic win? Is it going to be close? What's your prediction, buddy?
Well, I don't fill myself with delusion when it comes to score predictions. I try to keep it realistic. It's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know much about Bruce, to be honest with you, so I can't really put an accurate score prediction on that. I'm going to go for Celtic high in confidence. I'm going to go for a narrow. I'm going to say 2-1 Celtic.
Aye, 3-1 for me, John. I think it'll be 3-1. I think we've got goals, and it's definitely the team's full of goals, isn't it? Defence is okay as well. Defence is quite solid. So yeah, but I'll give them a goal. We'll give Bruce a goal, 3-1. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I just think that's what the final score is going to be, with that massive crowd behind the boys roaring us to 3 points, John. All right, okay, that wraps it up. We went through a lot there, John. That was quite a wee bit non-stop. Good luck to Celtic on Wednesday night. That's all we can say. Put us in a fantastic position. 3 points in the bag would be absolutely beautiful. John, wee quick word on Brunei Watch before we call it a day. In fact, we'll do a couple of comments if you want, but a wee quick word on Brunei Watch. He won again, John. A very difficult game against Dunfermline. So Scott Brown, he's up and down. Season continues. I don't know where that puts him in the league table, to be honest, but they're near the top anyway, aren't they? Brunei. No convincing, but a 1-0 win against Dunfermline, John. Very tough game. 2 wins in a row. Brunei back on the winning trail.
Aye. I will just hope he can keep it up. That is a tough game against Dunfermline. So aye, well done, Brunei. I says for the start of this season, I think Ayr United will be in the playoffs for a Premier League spot. And I'll stand by that. I think Brunei's got it in him. I'm confident he can do that. So aye. Here's hoping. Well done, Brunei.
Yeah. Okay, John. Right. Comments, John. I know there was quite a few left after the Hearts game. A lot of joyous Celtic fans out there just now, John. We are absolutely flying. I mean, in every competition, we really are. It's just brilliant being a Celtic supporter just now. It really is, and it has been for a good few years. Apart from the season that didn't count, obviously the COVID season, John. And that's what I wanted to bring up as well, John. We're going for a real 55 titles for Celtic, John. No, none of this 55 titles split between two clubs. You know, this is a proper 55 titles that we're going for, and we're in a fantastic position as it stands. Okay, only 12 or 13 games gone in the season, still a long way to go, but to be 11 points clear of our Glasgow rivals and now pulling away from Aberdeen as well, John, it's just onwards and upwards for us.
Onwards and upwards. It's looking good as the song goes. And like you says, a proper 55. I like the way you worded that there. no 55 split between two clubs. So the new club's only won one. So they've only got one title. So why they keep going on about this magical 55 that doesn't exist? It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But who cares about them anyway? Long may it continue. Celtic's dominance. It's just brilliant being a Celtic fan, like you says. What I was going to ask you was, who would you rather start on Wednesday, Engels or Bernardo?
Yeah, good question, John. But you've got to bear in mind as well the titles that don't count with the EBT scandal as well, John. That's got to be taken into consideration. Ernold Engels, John, has got to be dropped for me. The boy needs a rest. He needs to get his head together. I'm not saying he's really, really bad, but there is players like Bernardo and the boy for Dundee as well, John, like McCowan, who are busting to get onto that team from the start. And look at the performance that Bernardo put on the half hour he was on that park, John. It's just brilliant when that guy comes onto the park. He settles the team down. He finds passes, John. He sets up goals. He's just a brilliant midfielder. Arnie, on the other hand, just now, it looks a wee bit, I don't know if he looks unsettled, possibly, John. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking absolute nonsense, but the guy hasn't got a smile on his face either. I know that. I'm not a body language expert or anything like that, but he just looks unsettled, I think. Maybe he just needs that wee rest. Obviously, he was away with Belgium as well, wasn't he? So, yeah, I would start with Bernardo, John. I agree with you. What do you think?
Absolutely, I totally agree. Bernardo for me all day. I'm not saying Engels is a bad player. He's just done nothing to impress me so far. And I mean nothing. He takes a good corner kick. I'll give him that. His set pieces are pretty good. He loses the ball far too much for me. He doesn't like the rough and tumble of the Scottish game, I don't think. So for me, I think Bernardo all day to start. And the reason I was saying Trusty to start is because Brendan already stated when you're playing in the Champions League as a defender, you need pace. And Trusty has got a lot of pace, a lot more pace than Liam Scales has got. Although I prefer Scales as a defender, to be honest with you. But when it comes to the Champions League, Trusty has got the pace standard, and he's a brave defender as well. He's a good defender.
Yeah, he's a good signing. He's been a brilliant sign, to be honest with you. I just feel so sorry for Big Liam, whose chance will come back around again, John. It definitely will. He's too good a player. He'd be sitting on that bench, to be honest with you. And then you've got injuries and suspensions as well, haven't you? All right, John, that was good. Good wee chat today. Enjoyed that. I don't know if I can run quickly through a few comments before we call it a day.
Aye, we can do that. Get them up. First up, Mad About Football. He says, I saw those comments about Scales. Some were vile, uncalled for. Well, I've still not seen the comments about Liam Scales, but I've heard them in the past. And it's totally bamboozles me, to be honest with you. I have no idea why he gets criticism like that. Obviously, the Irish fans were no happy about him getting sent off against England. Maybe that's where it comes from. But saying he's a bad defender, he's terrible, get rid of him and all that, not a chance. I love Liam Scales. I think he's outstanding.
Yeah, John, I don't know. I don't know how you could say that about a player like Liam Scales. I know it's only a handful of supporters that's doing it. And it is just a handful, but a handful too many as far as I'm concerned, because any time that guy has got a Celtic jersey on his back, he performs outstandingly. Man of the match after man of the match from us, John, you've got to remember as well. Big Liam Scales. We're 11 points clear our Rangers for a reason. And he's part of that reason, you've got to remember. So good comment, Mad About Football. Thanks very much.
Aye, he's a Celtic man, Liam Scales. He understands what it means to play for Celtic. He knows what it means to every Celtic fan. He's outstanding. And if Trusty was dropped for the team, I wouldn't be heartbroken. Put it that way. I'd welcome the return of Liam Scales to the centre of defence for Celtic.
Yeah. It's a tough one for Brendan, that, isn't it? It really is. When you see Scales and Carter Vickers together like that, and okay, the goal Hearts scored was unstoppable, let's be honest, unless you send the Hearts player 20 feet into the air and gets yourself sent off. It was just an unstoppable strike. So nothing the defence or the goalkeeper could have done about it. But it's been clean sheet after clean sheet. You know, it really has in the league, you know, and good performances in Europe as well from the two American lads. But I just can't wait to see Scales back in the team as well, to be honest with you, John.
I'd welcome the return of Liam Scales every day of the week. Every single day of the week. I love Liam Scales, as do you, as do most Celtic fans. But I don't think he's going to play on Wednesday night. Anyway, James Doran was up next. He says, these are tricky games coming off the international break, and shake off the cobwebs and get ready for the Champions League home tie against Club Brugge Wednesday night.
Yeah, which is what we're doing right now, isn't it? We're getting prepared for it. We're building ourselves up, taking in the atmosphere. Albeit it's quiet down here. It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and it's nearly dark already. Very creepy down here now, very quiet. So, yeah, but it'll be a different story on Wednesday night. Yeah, so James, yeah, we're building ourselves up for that tricky game against Hearts. We got over it. We've got another tricky game on Wednesday night. Hopefully we'll get over that as well.
Time will tell, Xander. Thanks for that, James.
James.
Where are we? Let's see. 2 seconds, Xander.
Well, we're waiting, Joe. While you're checking it out, I'll quickly mention the competition, right, for the Ross County game. Anybody that wants to put their guess into the comments on this video, feel free to do so. We're looking for the correct score against Ross County at Celtic Park on Saturday to win a metal wall plaque, Celtic Legends metal wall plaque. And we're looking for the correct score and any goal scorer in the match as well. One guess each, folks, into the comments. More than one correct entry, it goes to a draw. And listen out for this week's prize winning draw. I'm going to make a wee separate reel for that, folks. There's 3 correct entries, and I'll put that on YouTube probably tomorrow. So I'll keep your notification bell turned on for both of them.
I think you predicted the correct scoreline for Ross County. They won on Saturday as well.
Yeah, that's right. They beat who was it? They beat again, but they won 2-1, didn't they? And I think I did say that. I think I also said that St Mirren would beat Aberdeen 2-1, John. So I get, as I said last week on the preview for Hearts, we get more of the other games correct than we do the Celtic ones just now. But that's because, you know, it's unpredictable the new with Celtic. It really is. One game we're only scoring a couple of goals, the next game we're scoring 5 goals. It's difficult to predict just now, but it doesn't matter about predictions, John, as long as we get these wins, one after one in the league and in the Champions League, and of course the big one in the cup final coming up in a couple of weeks, John.
Oh, I look forward to that, Xander. That's weeks ahead. I know we've got Aberdeen at Pittodrie in a couple of weeks as well. That's going to be a very tough game. That's a chance for Aberdeen to see if they're real title contenders. Anyway, Paul McCune says, hail the Celtic. And then he says 2-1, 3-0, 7-0. I don't know what that's all about.
I didn't understand that, but it's just Paul, and it's just Paul all over the back. So thanks for the comment, Paul. Cheers, buddy.
Peter Hendry was up next. He says he's pleased with Forrest getting a new contract, but over the moon with Alistair Johnson. Great business.
Yeah, I read that one as well, Peter. Thanks, Peter. And I'm glad you brought that up, John, because James Forrest, I wanted to have a wee further chat about him. John, he's signed that extension to 2026. For what I saw against Hearts, right, he's nowhere near finished at Celtic. He's still got a lot to do. He's still got a lot of games to win for Celtic. He's got it in him. He looks fit. He looks agile. He looks strong. And I think if anything happens to Dyson or Nicholas for that case, fingers crossed it never ever does. But he's there, ready to step in, John, and it's just brilliant to see James Forrest on that type of form.
James is some wee player. He's had some career at Celtic and he's still shown it after all these years. It was good to see James coming on as a sub on Saturday, and at the same time, exact same substitution. Hearts made one and his brother came off. Yeah,
that tells you a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, wee Alan Forrest, isn't it, for Hearts? He's a decent wee guy, decent wee player. He's not nowhere near the level of James. Even at James's later age, John, his later stages in his football career, he's nowhere near the player that James will ever be, John, to be honest with you.
No, not even close to it. He's a decent wee player, Alan Forrest, but he's nowhere near his brother's level. Also, their sister plays for Glasgow City as well.
All right, didn't know that, John. A bit of news. There you go. Every day is a learning day. So his sister plays for Glasgow City. There you go, John. The Forest family, football crazy.
Aye, football mad. Aye, the Forest family. Good luck to every single one of them. But aye, I've watched her a few times playing for Glasgow City. Half decent wee player she is.
Right, okay, right. Get her signed up for the Celtic, ladies.
She's not that good.
All right, John. And a wee word on the Celtic ladies. They lost to Chelsea, didn't they, in the Champions League? That was all over the news down in England, John. Chelsea beating the Celtic ladies because they've just replaced their manager. And it was like our fourth or fifth one in a row. And it was a sort of convincing performance against Celtic ladies. Apparently, didn't watch it myself, but, these English teams are the ones with all the money. So Celtic ladies, I think they're out of the Champions League actually now, John. So at least they were there, John. They were there and they flew the flag for Scotland, I suppose, Celtic ladies. So well done to them.
Played 3, lost 3. I thought they played well against the Chelsea ladies in the second half. But anyway, moving swiftly on for that. We're not really interested in that now. I've lost interest in that stuff. But good luck to the Celtic ladies in the future games. Like I says, they've got 0 points out of 3 games. It can only get better for that.
They're out, John. That's what else can you say? That's it.
We've lost interest in the Champions League now for the Celtic ladies, but I'll still watch them in the league games and that if I remember it's on. Anyway, good luck to the Celtic ladies. Where are we next? We would never sell a club for £1. She says, just looked at the results and it's looking good for Celtic as the Dons and Sevco drop points. And it's time for, what's that? It's time to motor on tonight with a victory over Hearts and get prepared for Wednesday night's Champions League game against Club Brugge. Well, Sevco dropping points is what I'll take out of that. Sevco on a downward spiral, Xander. This could be a record gap between Celtic and Sevco this season, I think.
Yeah, all we can hope for, John, is that it just continues. Let's just hope that it continues over there, what's happening. Because they are in, if that was Celtic, John, right? I know it has been Celtic in the past, right? But if that was Celtic, John, their crest would be in tatters with cracks going through it and crisis club and all the rest of it. But because it's Rangers, there's no crisis. They're just going through a bad spell. I mean, honest to God, they are in deep crisis and it gets covered up with the Scottish press.
Well, try telling their fans that there's no crisis. They're bailing, they're absolutely raging. They know there's a crisis. That's the thing. Long may it continue. That's all I can say. Yeah,
John, the Celtic ladies won 5-1 against Montrose, by the way, at the weekend. So they were back on winning ways. Home tie against Montrose. Celtic 5, Montrose 1.
It's no great achievement that, beating Montrose, is it?
No. But they've done it. So,
I think me and you could go out and beat them, just me and you against the Montrose ladies. I think we'd get a favourable result there, Xander.
Well, Montrose, I think every time they play a game, they get gubbed, didn't they? 6, 7, 8s. In fact, I'm surprised Celtic ladies conceded a goal, to be honest with you. Anyway, John, who was that? Paul, was it?
I don't know.
Whoever it was, thanks for the comment, because, it's just motor on for Celtic, isn't it, John? We've got to just motor on. And if we get this result against Brugge on Wednesday night, what a position that puts us in. Not just in the Champions League, John, but for everything, as you say, the League Cup final against Rangers. Going forward in the league, John, it's a very, very busy December for us. Massive games against Aberdeen. We've got a league game against Rangers at Ibrox as well coming up. And obviously all the other sort of smaller games, if you like, in between.
That's always on my birthday, that game, January. So I look forward to that. It's always a happy birthday, that one. By the way, the Montrose ladies manager, I met him. I was talking to him up at Montrose when I was up there. He's an absolute clown, by the way, honestly. You'll never meet a bigger idiot than this. I can't remember what it was he was talking about. Rangers fan, by the way. I think that's what annoyed me about him.
All right.
We've talked about Celtic and Celtic, is that the same Celtic that get beat with Rangers? Shouting it out, Like, I'm your Jets, mate. That was the COVID season, Oh, he's just an absolute clown. And the only reason I was talking to him was because he was doing that. I don't know what you call it, but you've got like a surfboard and you go across the shore. You don't go out jumping over waves. You go across the way. I don't know what you call it. Oh, guy's just an absolute muppet. Um, so there you go. That's my opinions of the Montrose ladies manager. An absolute clown of a guy. And I hope you listen to this because you know what I think of you. You kind of knew when I was talking to you.
I think they need a new manager anyway. Anyway, moving on, John. Swiftly moving on.
Well, he get put in his place anyway. Guy's a clown. Anyway, next up was one club since 1888. Says any Celtic supporter slating Scales should have a look at themselves. We've already discussed that, and yes, they should have a look at themselves. I totally agree.
Yeah, they should. Good comment.
And then Peter Hendry was up. He says absolutely disgusting. The comments about Big Scales. Can I be watching the same player we're watching? The boy has been outstanding now. 100% agree with that as well.
Yeah, and I think 99% of the Celtic fans also agree, John. Let's point this out. This is only a handful of Celtic supporters, but as I said earlier, it's a handful too many, isn't it?
As a handful too many, it's totally undeserved, that kind of talk against Liam Scales. It is only a handful. You've got to remember that as well. But, you know, you do get, they're out there. It doesn't matter what player you like. There'll be somebody out there that hates him, Xander. You could have Zidane playing for Celtic. You'd have some that disagree with, so I know Zidane's long retired, but it's just an example. But you're always going to have haters at every player's under. Doesn't matter who they're.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good comment, John. Yeah, and thanks for Peter as well. Keep the comments coming in, Peter.
Thanks, Peter. Roseanne was up next, and Roseanne says, great to have you back, boys. So-called Celtic fans who don't like Big Liam would be better just supporting them over the road. Talking about Rangers, because they're just behaving like them. My whole family loves Big Liam. Good luck to my team tonight, and I'll say 2-1 and Kyogo. Aye, Roseanne. I says that before. If you don't like Liam Scales, go and support another team because you must be watching the game with very, very dark sunglasses on. Welding goggles, if you like. Because 99% of Celtic fans love the big man, Roseanne.
Of course they do. And thanks for that, Roseanne, because Celtic fans have always backed their team. Celtic fans have always, and they still do. I'm just saying, they've always backed players, even when they play bad. You're allowed to voice your opinion. Yeah, maybe he needs a rest. Maybe he's just off form. Yeah, fair enough. You're allowed to say that. It's not a problem. But to say that he's useless, get him out the club, all this absolute nonsense, that's just uncalled for. So it's a good comment, Roseanne. Celtic fans always back their team. They always back their players, especially when they're not playing too well. But Scales isn't not playing too well. Scales is playing brilliant. That's what I don't understand about it. It's just mind-boggling. And as I said, and you said, John, it's just a handful. So even more than 99%, 99.9% of the Celtic supporters love Big Liam Scales.
Aye, exactly. Aye. I'll give you an example here. Another player, Engels, I don't give him a good time on here, but I don't slate him. I don't say get him out the team. He's rotten. Get rid of him. What I say about Engels is he's not done much to impress me so far. I can see there's a player there. He's got good attributes. You can see that, and he'll come good. He'll come good eventually. Give the boy a chance. He'll come good. That's what I say about Engels. I don't say get rid of him. He's rotten. Get him out the team. I would never say that about a Celtic player. But like you says, Liam Scales is actually brilliant. He's done absolutely nothing wrong for Celtic. He's been man of the match 70% of the games last season with us. He's an outstanding defender, and he's very unfortunate to be dropped out of that team.
Yeah, bang on, John. And it's a good comment, Feroz, and I'm glad you brought it up because I've always remembered Celtic supporters backing the team, no matter what. No matter what. So thanks for the comment, Roseanne.
Aye, it's just bad, isn't it? Big Liam doesn't deserve that. Yeah, but like we says, it's most Celtic fans are behind him. So just like Roseanne says, if you don't like good players at Celtic, go and support somebody else. Go and support Montrose.
Yeah, that's it. As we always say, John, you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't think you're entitled You know, some of the comments that I saw were quite vile, to be honest with you, but I don't understand it. I just don't understand. Maybe it's Rangers supporters. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, John. I just didn't understand it.
I don't know. You get it at every club, so it doesn't matter. You're always going to have haters at every player. No offence to Montrose, by the way. Nothing against you.
No.
Peter Hendry says again, he says, let's get this game won and mind the gap. The boys to win 4-0 and Kyogo to score. Very, very close there, Peter, to getting into that draw.
Yeah, John, I hope you've got the comment for the guy that got it right, because what a guess that was. But yeah, very unlucky, John, because he wasn't getting Hearts the goal, and it was just a wonder goal, wasn't it, that prevented him going into the draw. And there was also somebody over on Facebook that got it right, 4-1, that says, but didn't give us a goal scorer. So rules are rules, I'm afraid. We need a goal scorer as well. So yeah, unlucky. Who was that, John? Peter again?
That was Peter, aye. Unlucky, Peter. Good guess. Brilliant guess, mate. Just if that wonder goal never went in, you were into the prize draw. So try again for the Ross County game, Peter.
That's it. Try again, buddy. Unlucky, pal.
And next up was the one you were talking about, Fat Boy 67.
Before him to say it wasn't me that entered.
Well,
what a guess, Joe, John. On you go. But tell me what you think it as well. What a guess.
Fat Boy 67. And brilliant. That's a guess and a half. And I just love his username, Fat Boy 67. It's just a quality username, isn't it? Fat Boy.
Yeah, brilliant.
Anyway, Fat Boy 67 got everything right. His whole prediction was right for the game. Hearts 1, Celtic 4, and the scorers are going to be Kyogo, Kuhn, and Idah. He got that right. He says Kyogo's going to get 2, and 1 for Idah, and 1 for Kyogo. But he got all the scorers right.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. I mean, imagine having a few quid on that, John. That would be, you'd be a rich man. So, good luck to you, Fat Boy, in the in the draw. There's only 3 in the draw, so you've got a great chance. So listen out for that over the next day or two. I just know the time to date the day, John. So, what a guess. What a guess. Superb.
I wish you all the best, Fat Boy. You deserve to win the plaque for that guess. That's brilliant. And if you swapped Kyogo 2 and Idah 1, you'd have got it perfect. But you got all the scorers right. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Fat Boy. But sadly, you don't get a prize if the draw's unfavourable. But I just hope you win it, mate. I really do.
Yeah. And if you do get drawn, I don't usually do this, right? But if you do get drawn and you win the prize, I'm gonna throw in a wee Celtic Forever keyring as well. There you go. Drink of that, John. Christmas time round the corner. Xander's feeling generous. Yeah, I'm going to give you a plaque and a keyring if you get drawn out of the hat. So yeah, well done, Fat Boy. That was a superb guess.
Aye. Well done, Fat Boy, and good luck in the draw. James Doran was up next, and he says, my guess is 3-1 to Celtic, and Duracell Boy to score. Close again, 3-1. It was 4-1, but Duracell Boy didn't score. Nah,
Duracell Boy didn't score, but it was part of the Kuhn goal, wasn't he? He was sort of laid it off to Kuhn to run through Maida, and that was a vital goal, the second goal. So yeah, good guess, James. Unlucky, pal. Keep the guesses coming in.
Aye, and next up was Paul McComb. Paul says, great pod, lads. Says we don't want to use that word, but we'll say buns drew and the sheep lost.
Buns drew and sheep lost, John. And I don't think it gets any easier for Buns, because they're out to St Johnstone next, John, after coming back from a European game in France. A St Johnstone team that won at the weekend, who are on decent form, gone up to St Johnstone's, and never easy. It's always tricky. So, and they're all forum Rangers. So yeah, doesn't get any easier for them when they come back from their European game.
Aye.
I don't know who Aberdeen play next, by the way.
I can't remember. They're away to Hearts, I think, or Hibs. It's either Hearts or Hibs. And they've got 3 away games in a row. St Mirren, Hearts and Hibs, and I can't mind what one it is next. It's either Hearts or Hibs. I hope it's Hearts, because Hibs are pathetic, to be honest with you. They're just absolutely brutal. Yeah,
but in saying that, John, it's Aberdeen, you know. Away in Edinburgh is always tough, but as you say, Hibs are brutal. But there is a chance for Celtic to go 14 points clear of Rangers, John, if we beat Ross County. But we'll get more into that near the time, because we play first and they play on the Sunday. So a chance to go 14 clear.
A very good chance to go 14 clear. Anyway, thanks for that, Paul. Next up was Roseanne.
Yeah.
She says, the boys are so good. How can you pick one to score? I expect a few of them to score, Roseanne. I did expect Nicolas Kuhn to stick the ball in the net. You always expect a goal from maybe Kyogo, Maida, centre of the park. Callum McGregor's always worth a goal. Goals all over the park for Celtic, isn't there, Xander?
Yeah, they're everywhere, and it's brilliant. It's just great to watch. We've even scored a few goals for corner kicks, so big defenders getting up scoring. Big Trusty scored, hasn't he? I think Cameron scored already this season. Scalesy, I think he's bagged one as well. So there's goals all over the team, John. Just brilliant.
Aye, thanks for that, Roseanne. How can you pick one to score when everybody's scoring? It's very difficult. That's why nobody's won it the last few weeks, apart from this weekend and last. But anyway, thanks for that, Roseanne. Moving swiftly on, Rosemary says 3-0 and Kyogo to score, and Paul McComb says 4-0 with Kyogo to score.
Yeah, so there was a lot of good guesses, and as I said, there was the one as well with the 4-1 correct score, but no goal scorer. So we've just got to stick to the rules, unfortunately, John. Felt sorry for that person getting it right, but no, rules are rules. So just keep entering the competition, folks. Thank you, everybody that entered the competition. We do appreciate it. It's just a wee bit of fun. We like to do it. Just adds a wee bit of fun to the podcast. Keep entering, folks. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Massive game on Wednesday night. Good luck to the champions and the champions-elect. Good luck to Celtic on Wednesday night against a very, very good Brugge team in the Champions League. John, what's your wee final thoughts, buddy?
My final thoughts are the same as what it always is in the Champions League. Fight. Play for 90 minutes. Big backing behind you, screaming fans. You've got to go out and play for the fans that show up in their numbers. 60,000 passionate Celtic fans all wanting the same thing. And I think if Celtic players show up, they're capable of beating anybody on their day at Celtic Park, and I mean any team. So and we're on form as well, Xander. It's a good time to be going into this game, and I'm sure the Celtic players are more than ready for that. Brendan will have them well drilled. He's doing well in the Champions League for a change, Brendan, and he's starting to maybe looks like he's putting Celtic back on the map in the Champions League.
Yeah, it looks that way. And Wednesday is a big marker. It really is for that, John. So we'll see where we are on Wednesday night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Look out for the post-match on Thursday for the big game in the Champions League against Brugge. Look out for that. Turn on your notification bell, folks. Good luck, everybody, in the competition if you enter. And we'll catch you all on Thursday night. Hail for now, and I'll see you on Thursday, John.
See you Thursday, Xander. Hail, mate.